Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to play with the Nomad Whistler palette. I am so excited to receive this in PR. Thank you so much, Felicia at Nomad, for adding me to the PR list. It means absolutely the world to me. And I'm so super excited because I absolutely love Nomad Cosmetics. I think I own every single palette that they've ever came out with. And I love that they go and they travel, they get inspiration from different places, and then they do it with a cause. I've always seen them give back to whatever community that they went to go visit in some sort of way. They find something that resonates with them and they give back to that community. And so it's like when you purchase their palettes, you're not just buying makeup. You are also giving back in the same way that they're giving back to the community. So I just think it is amazing. They set themselves apart from any other cosmetics brand because of what they do and the work that they do in different communities that they go and visit. And I just absolutely love the theme of this palette. Like, could I not get a better time to be added to a PR list than to get this palette? Because seriously, the cutest packaging ever. If this is something you're interested in taking a look at and seeing me create a look, not only just a average look, but I'm going to be showing you, if you're afraid of blue, how you can incorporate blue into an eye look without it being overpowering so that you don't have to fear blue. So if that is something that interests you, just keep watching. I'm so glad you guys decided to stay. Today, I'm completely barefaced. Sometimes I start out with lashes on and my makeup done. I switch it up. Just know that I switch it up. So there's no real particular way. It's just whatever mood I am in. That's it. That's all it boils down to. Okay, so every time you purchase a palette, you get one of these postcards, which I think is really cool because you can get the overall theme of also. This one is, we are so proud to donate. It's 5% of the retail sales of the Whistler Snow Lodge palette will be donated to the Environmental Legacy Fund to help provide environmental benefits to the community of Whistler. So that is where their donation is going to with this palette. Super excited. Okay, so you get a coaster, which I don't know if I've seen one of these cardboard coasters in forever. So I was geeking out over this when I opened it up. But Nomad Lodge in Whistler, BC. Then you also have the outer packaging of the palette, which the puns are everything. You mustn't lose me. For Fox's sake, I'm sleeping. In howlin' good time. I love that. Okay, so I am going to read just a little bit. I don't usually go into the palettes, but nobody has a really good way of describing their shadows. And so I do want to read along with you just so that you can kind of get the overall feel of the palette, not just the colors. Okay, so plush shadows formulated with an extra fine pigment for a velvety color payoff, infused with evening primrose oil to help keep lids soft and hydrated. 7 luxe mattes, 6 lustrous shimmers, and 2 dazzling duochromes. Y'all know how I like my duo and my multichromes. Inspired by the epic winter playground that is Whistler, BC. Okay, it has a picture of what the shades look like on the back of the palette, but the names. Ski In, Après Ski, Snow Bunny, Powder Specialist, For Fox's Sake, Berry Cool, Whistler, Snowmad, Black Comb, Up to Snow Good, Gone Skiing, Bucking Great, Ski Bum.
So amused. I'm so amused.
I just love it. And Ski Out. So yes, that's what it looks like there. So today I also want to get into a look. A lot of times I hear people say, I can't wear blue. I can't wear blue. Like, I'm afraid of blue, or I would never know how to wear blue. And I think in a lot of people's minds, they have to wear an all blue eyeshadow look. You don't. And I hear people also say, I would never buy that palette because it has blue in it and I wouldn't know what to do with the blue. And if there's other colors in there that you can play with and it's not just an all blue palette, there's plenty that you can do to incorporate those blue shadows so that you can get a palette that has blue eyeshadow in it and not feel like you're just wasting those shadows. So this is going to be the perfect palette to show that. So I wanted to make sure that I do this with this palette. I am going to go ahead and jump off here and I'm going to prime my eyes and we're going to get into this look. I zoomed you in real nice and real close. You're welcome. Okay, if you're watching me on your TV, you're double welcome. Okay, I'm going to try something a little bit different by adding the shade pictures to the screen so that you can see them as I'm applying them instead of holding the palette up each time. I'm going to go in with Gone Skiing and I'm just tapping and building up that shade onto my brush. And what I do is I just tap and I'm going to tap in the shape that I want this darker brown to lay on the eye. So I am kind of just mapping out the shape of the eye look. Okay, so creating kind of a V right in here. I am going to bring it in just without adding without adding more product. I'm just kind of blending it inward. And you always got to come back and look straight on so that you can see what you're creating. Because when you're doing this, it's not going to always look the same as where you're doing this. Okay, I always sit back. You may even see me look in a side mirror because it also gives me a separate view. Mainly whenever I do this other eye. For me, it is probably better, and for you, because I'm not awkwardly trying to place this shadow here, like this here. It is better for me to look up and then you're seeing the side of my eye. I am showing you face on with this eye and off to the side with this eye because your hand is always going to be blocking if you're looking straight on because I'm having to use my right hand on my left eye. I'm just explaining technical things, and the reason why I explain technical things is because people have their preferences on how they do their makeup, but people that watch, you guys that watch, also have preferences on what you like to see also. And so if I do something that's different from what everybody else is doing, I want to explain why I do certain things that I do. I'm going to dip into Ski Out, and I'm just going to deepen where on the inner part of that V shape, just deepen where and mix it in with that brown that we sheared out. See how I'm doing that? And again, don't have to be perfect, don't have to be completely blended out. Do you see how I'm just tapping? Because we're laying down the shade without blending it in together and blending it completely away. Now, we're going to want those edges blended maybe just a little bit more, but we'll get to that towards the end. You can blend out the edges or you can leave it a little bit more sharp. It just depends on how you want your look to turn out. Now I'm going to go in with shimmers. A lot of people, they like to use brushes. And so I'm going to do one eye with a brush. I'm going to do the other eye with a finger. And then I'll probably go back over the side that has the brush with my finger because I like a full pigmented shimmer. You can use a sponge tip applicator also if you want a more precise application, pretty much the same as using your finger. I'm going to go in with my finger with the first eye and I'm going to add this shade right in there. Oh, that's such a pretty shade. Do you see why I told you not to blend too much? Because now I'm going to lay this just over the black a little bit, but we're going to add a little bit more black and we're going to combine those two shades together. And so I'm going to take a flat tip brush and I'm going to look up in this here and I'm going to just show you application with the brush. Okay, I mean that's pretty darn close to each other. These shimmers are going to apply well either way. With hooded eyes specifically, I like to add a lot of shadow in that crease area. So as your eyes are moving throughout the day, you still have shadow in there. A lot of times whenever you start to see skin, it's because there wasn't typically enough shadow in there. So I very rarely get any kind of creasing with my hooded eyes because I pack on the shadow in those areas. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take Ski Bum, and I think I will use a brush for this for more precise in the inner corner or the quarter half of the inner eye. So I'm going to go in with Ski Bum. Looks like there's a pink reflect. This is one of the duochromes. So we're going to place that. So stinking pretty. Extra little. I'm going to go in with my finger. I'm just going to take my pinky, and yeah, I have to. Oh, this has a pink reflect with it. Oh, it's so stinking pretty. Wow, that is so gorgeous. So see how we just put a pop of blue? Absolutely can do this, okay? So we're gonna do that on, I'm just taking my pinky because it's smaller and I can get a little bit more precise, but don't be afraid. Swirl your finger around in that shade and pick up some shadow and make sure that you're layering it and not shearing it out completely. I haven't even dipped into all the shades, but I can tell you that shade is my favorite. And I am going to have to do another look using that shade. Look at that. Oh, so stinking beautiful. We're going to still add more blue to this look. The base of it is brown. On top of the eyes, super brown. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a brush that looks like this here. It's called a smudger. I like a dense smudger for this. This particular one is an Ulta smudger. I need to get more of these because these are pretty inexpensive, and this is my favorite smudger. Now we're going to go in with Nomad, which is like a dark navy. We're going to take that up on our brush. This is super important. And if you're new here, I'm just going to explain it. Super important to take your mattes. A lot of people spray shimmers. If you're going underneath the eye,
Spray your matte. Try it. I swear you'll like it.
Okay, so you spray your matte because it will make it last almost all day. It makes it more intense, but you can always blend it out if you want more of a smoky look. Just take it and then stamp. Don't drag, stamp. Because if you drag, you will pop that shadow up into your eye. Trust me, I've done it when I'm trying to brush. And then I take it and I just put a little bit onto the lid, almost like a liner, like that there, on a look like this. Okay, so I almost create a liner with that navy. I'm dragging it a little bit. When I get further away from the eye, I can drag it. This is another tip. I have mature skin, and zooming in, you can see it. Do you see how there's, the creases right in here? You have your crease here, but you have creases right in here. The further you take this down, the less you see of that. And I don't wear concealer. And so, if I can cover up some of that area with shadow and it looks like it's a part of the eye look, absolutely, I'm going to do that. Now let's do the other side. We're only taking it about halfway, really shearing it out when you get to the halfway. You see, I'm just taking it up almost like a little wing liner. I got to look up because you go upwards. Always go upwards and out from your top lid. And then you can just kind of smudge with your finger a little bit and drag it into the brown a little bit and we'll go back over that with the brown. We're going to kind of combine that a little bit better, but we're just getting it laid onto the eyes right now. So what I do is I lay everything where I pretty much want it, and then I'll go back in and do finishing touches. So if I want to blend this out more, I blend that out more. If I want to combine some colors or add them back and forth to layer them on top, then I do that. But I don't do that until after I'm done getting everything pretty much set up where I want it. Now I'm going to go in with Black Comb. It's a shimmery blue that is just gorgeous, and I'm going to spray this again. I typically spray everything I'm going to put underneath my eye, okay? And I'm going to look up because I need to pull that skin tighter. And I'm going to pull that over that mat. I'm going to go a little bit further in, but I'm going to pull it over top of that mat, but not all the way to the edge. I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just doing small little pulls, not big pulls, because you, again, will flip that eyeshadow up into your eye. And it doesn't feel good. Typically, if I'm going too fast and I have red eyes at the end of it, it's because I've flipped eyeshadow into my eyes. And then I'm going to go back in with that Ski Bum And I'm going to do that all the way in. And I cannot wait to see what this looks like with the spray because it always amps up shadows. That is, boy, did they hit it out of the park with that shade. Like I said, I own all of their stuff, and I think this is my favorite shade out of every shade they've ever made. I literally would probably buy this just for that shade, even if it was like a whole bunch of oranges, because if you know me, I'm not a big orange fan. If it was all oranges and just that one shade, I would buy this palette. That's how much I love it. It's stunning. That shift. I am literally going to message her after I get done with this to tell her how much I love that shadow. Okay, all right, I'm going to go in with Snow Bunny, which is kind of a little bit lighter blue, and I'm just going to run that right underneath there. Like, just with no spray. And that's what I mean by if you want to smoke it out, you can take a little bit that's dry underneath like that there. Okay, you see how that is using blue but toned down. Browns and blues look amazing together. So I'm going to go back in. Like I said, this is typically stuff that I like to do off camera, and that's just like the little detail work, but this may be a little bit longer because I'm doing this more tutorial style, and I want to show you how I incorporate some of those little details where I'm combining the shadows together. So I'll leave that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that brush that I was packing on that brown, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to kind of tap and drag just to combine that blue like that there. And then I'm going to go into a little bit of that black, and I'm going to add that also because I do want that a little darker in the outer edge. So these are just like the little finishing touches that I add to a look. And then even if I go a little too far over, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add a little bit of that shimmery brown. You can just add a little bit back and combine the two like that there. And then going back over, and I'm just using the same brush, and I'm just going back over, and I'm going to add a little bit of brown to deepen up that little V like I was doing on the other side. Pulling your eyes up like this to see that you haven't missed anywhere where it creases. So that pretty much is what I would do off camera. Just little details like that there. Getting it fine-tuned. It would be a good. Only thing that I would say that I wish there was, and typically I like the more shimmers the better, but I think what I would need to buff out this brown is a cream color that isn't a shimmer. But that's okay, because something that I do, if that's the case in any palette that I use, I like to take a little bit. I don't set my face with powder. I don't use concealer. I don't contour. I don't bronze. I don't powder. And so what I use my powder for is buffing out a little bit in an eye look. So I'm just going to take a little bit of powder, and I'm just going to go above the color, but just barely touching the brown, because you can blend away your color very quickly. I still want that sharp on the edge, but I did want that to be blended out. So that completes that side. Sometimes I can get a little nitpicky, but okay. So there's that side. I'm going to go in and do the same thing for time's sake. Since I did that one on camera, I'm going to do the other side off camera. Now, typically with a look like this, I would probably do a teal liner or a purplish pink liner, but in the sake of toning this look down some, I'm going to go in with like a coppery brown or a shimmery brown. I'm going to go in with the ColourPop that is been worn away, so I can't tell you what shade it is. But that's just the way it goes. If I can look it up, if I remember to look it up, I will put it on the screen. See, that still, again, pairs back this look, but it's still blue. And you can tell it's blue. We're not just putting just a little dab of blue. It's blue. It's a blue look. So I am going to pop off. I'm going to do the rest of my face. I'm going to put on some lashes, and then I will come back with the final look. See you in a few. Okay, guys, this is my final look. Just love this palette. This is one of my most favorite looks that I've created. I know that you're getting a lot more pink, but this is a blue shadow with a pinkish purple shift to it. And those browns just marry well with the blues. They're the perfect tone of blue to mesh well with the browns. I popped on a NARS lippy in the shade American Woman. The highlighter that I popped on is the Jaclyn Hill, and it's in Hypnotic, and I also put it in the high point of the brow. I think that it matches up really, really well with the shift of that duochrome in the palette. So yes, I also used on my cheeks, I used the Charlotte Tilbury in Cheek to Chic, and it looks like this here, and I really love this blush. It's beautiful. And so yeah, that's my final look. You guys tell me down below, what do you think? Do you think that if you were afraid of a blue eye look that you could do something like this and be more comfortable in it? I think that this is more universal. It is more pared back and toned down. Kind of has just a little bit of a grungy even tone to it. And yeah, I absolutely, this is one of my favorite looks. So you tell me down below what you think. You might not like it. You might not like the combo of these colors, and that's okay. You can tell me that too. But just let me know, sound off down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys and say hello. I've been trying to keep up with all my comments here lately. I appreciate all the comments. I do read them all, but I don't always get back to answering all of them, but eventually I do. So hang in there. It's usually not right away. Sometimes I get to them very quickly. Sometimes it's a struggle. So I hope that you guys will show me grace in that department, but I do read them. And so I do appreciate every single one, and I do read every single one. So yeah, tell me what you think of this look. And if you're afraid of blue before, is this something that you see yourself doing maybe in the future? I hope you guys enjoy this. Always remember, I also have a code with Nomad. You can save 10% with code Debutawn. If you use that code, I don't earn anything from it, but it just shows them that I am showing their products whenever you go to purchase and you use my code. So I truly, truly appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys all have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.